Nice to be here. I will be presenting two of the WEkEO tools. One is the Earthkit WEkEO plugin, and the other one is a new service on the WEkEO workspace, the GPU Access. I will start with the WEkEO Earthkit plugin. First of all, if you haven't heard about it yet, so what is Earthkit? It's a Python toolkit developed by ECMWF. Designed to simplify and standardize the handling of Earth system data, so especially large-scale meteorological and climate data sets, but it can be used on other data as well, which then comes in handy for the WEkEO data sets. It consists of different modules, like the data module, where you can really streamline the access to the data, and the plots module, where you can visualize. We'll see some examples later. As I said, it's developed by ECMWF, so I'm really not the expert on the Earthkit itself, but we had in a previous WEkEO webinar the expert who is developing the Python package here. So I've just added a link to this previous webinar. So in case you're really interested or more interested about the Earthkit plugin itself, or the Earthkit tool itself, feel free to just check out James' presentation from the previous webinar. While the Earthkit Python package is developed by ECMWF for climate data for meteorological data, WEkEO has developed some plugins, or one plugin, so that through Earthkit you can access the WEkEO data. So why would we do that? What's in it for you, for the users? So the key features are seamless data access through the WEkEO HDA, and Earthkit, which is really nice. It hides all the complexity of file management and different data formats from the user. So where before you had to download different files and then unzip files, maybe deal with the different data formats, you can now use the Earthkit to get the files and to stream it, for example, directly into an Xarray. That is the second key feature, that it's possible to stream data directly or convert it directly to Xarray. And what's also really handy is that you can use the Earthkit plotting functions to just create nice plots with very low effort and low code. Here are some example how it then looks like, but I will skip this slide, and I propose we go to a nice demo of a notebook in a second. You can find some examples on how to use the WEkEO Earthkit plugin on the WEkEO workspace, like on our Jupyter Hub environment. I will quickly open that. Yes, you should be able to see that now. This is one of the example notebooks you'll find in our repository. So just to quickly show you where, it's in the public folder, and when you go to WEkEO for data, and then you'll find here a whole folder for Earthkit. So just in case you want to try it later, this is where you'll find the example notebook. So we'll look at two different data sets in this example. One is coming from ECMWF and one is coming from the land monitoring service, CLMS. And the really interesting part, I'll just restart everything and run everything. And hope that it works. The really interesting part is here. So this is how you can access the WEkEO data. So you have to use the from source function, and you choose WEkEO. And what is coming next is just the API request you get from the WEkEO, data viewer, for example. So if you would use the WEkEO harmonized data access, this is exactly the request you'd need as well. So it works for that. You see, it's already there. If you execute it the first time, it might take a little bit longer because the data is downloaded in the background, but I've already done this, so for me it's in my cache. The same with the other data set, and we can just explore what we've downloaded. So we've downloaded the T2M, so this is the land, this is the temperature above at 2 meters for different dates, and the same for the other data set from the land monitoring service. And now it becomes really, really handy because with the 2xArray function, we can just convert the data we've just accessed to xArray. And you see, like we don't have to worry about any files or importing, unzipping, dealing with data formats. So that is the main advantage of Earthkit. And then once we have it in xArray, we just see something which might be familiar to many of you. When you've been working with xArray, you just have the data as an array, an n-dimensional array. And next, we will discover a bit the Earthkit plots function. So here we just we use the earthkit.plots.figure, which is all like pre-prepared for you. The only thing you need to add is like the area of interest, your units, and where you want to have the legend and the title. And just like that, you already get a really, really nice plot of the different data sets. So we are showing both different data sets for the same geographical region of Europe in one plot. What we can also do is, for example, just with changing the domains from Germany to Germany and to Spain, we can show the data in the different regions. I mean, here you can pretty nicely see Spain. Germany is not so well visible because the data is continuous, so it doesn't stop at the borders. But you can see a bit the shape of Germany here, with the Alps in the south and the North Sea and the Baltic Sea here in the north. And you can also just plot many plots next to each other, which can come very, very handy. So that is already the Earthkit plugin. Feel free to try it out. Maybe also like when you do your next ice monitoring project. I'll jump back to the slides. A bit of like information on which kind of data is supported. So for the access to the data, almost all data sets in WEkEO are supported. And then depending on how the data is structured, if it's like really, really complex data, such as some kind of very specific satellite data, then it stops there. So not all the data sets can be then directly converted to xArray or used for plotting. So you see like 80% can be converted to xArray and a bit more than 50% can be plotted directly with the Earthkit plotting functions. So just so that you know if something doesn't work directly, it can be due to the complex data structure of the data you're trying to plot, which makes it incompatible with Earthkit. And here a bit more details on like from which provider the data sets are supported. But yeah, you can take a look at that afterwards if you're interested. Now the second service I want to introduce to you today is the GPU service. So since I think it was May or June this year, we are offering graphical processing units on the WEkEO workspace, which is a very new feature, and I'm really excited about that. A bit of context. So as a user of WEkEO, so if you have an account and if you want to use the GPUs, you can. It's free for everyone. You can use them on the WEkEO workspace. It has here it says 8 gigabytes of GPU memory, but I wanted to change that. It's more like 6, 7 gigabytes of GPU memory on the machine learning GPU server. And up to 5 users can use the GPU at the same time. So this is the limitation. If 6 people want to use the GPUs at the same time, the 6th person, they won't be able to use it, as only 5 people are supported in parallel. But that is not a problem. You just wait for a little bit until the resources free up again, and then you'll be able to use them as well. So what is the intended use for the GPUs on the WEkEO workspace? So we wanted to provide those services for you to train small machine learning models, to speed up the training of small models, to prototype model training, and do inference on lightweight models. So it's not done with the expectation that you can do all the machine learning tasks you'd like massive models, foundation models, that you can run all of that on the WEkEO workspace, but it's more of a starting point. So for you to just get familiarized with GPUs, how to set up your environments, to use GPUs, and so on. So that if you want to scale up your machine learning project, you're already settled, and you know what things to be aware of while using GPUs. Now, a bit of tutorial on how to find the GPUs in case you want to try them. So from the landing page of the WEkEO website, you want to go to My WEkEO. So the GPU service is only available for logged in users. And then from your personal dashboard, you want to go to the WEkEO workspace here. So let me see if I can find a laser pointer. Here, the WEkEO workspace. If you click on open, you will be redirected to this options, and you want to then open the machine learning in brackets GPU server. If it is the case that already 5 people are using the GPU and you are the 6th person, I don't know if many of you are currently trying to access it, but you will probably see then this warning. Okay, so all GPU resources are already in use. The selection of machine learning GPU server will fail. Please try again later. And that's the strategy to go there. Please try again later. If you really see, okay, within 1 day or so, no free space opens up, then also feel free to write the user support or to write us a message and ask like what's up. And the GPU server on WEkEO, it looks like this. So it looks just like the it looks just like the usual WEkEO workspace, but you're maybe also already familiar with. So you see all of your data, all of your environments you might have predefined already. So you can just start working on that. And it's very important for you to know that you'll have access to all the data, because that means you could, for example, use the Earth observation server. So here, the Earth observation tools server to pre-prepare the training data and then only go to the machine learning server once you really need the GPU. There is also a bit of training material available for the GPU. You will find this here under this link. It's called Introduction to the WEkEO Workspace GPUs. And there is a collection of important tools you might want to use while monitoring the GPU usage and so on, and some really, really small examples. There is also one case study on the WEkEO Workspace GPU, how to use a vision language model for the description of satellite imagery you can try out. Now, with that being said about the GPUs, I want to introduce the Copernicus Innovation Lab to you as well. As I mentioned, the GPU server on the WEkEO workspace is more like for prototyping, just getting familiar with GPUs and the tools. And once you want to really scale up your machine learning project, you will notice, okay, the 7 GB of GPU memory on the WEkEO workspace are not enough anymore. And for this, we have the Copernicus Innovation Lab. So the Copernicus Innovation Lab is for projects of Copernicus users from the Copernicus member states. So if you are, for example, at a university in a Copernicus member state, or if you are a startup or a company within a Copernicus member state, and you are using Copernicus data and you need additional computing resources, then the Copernicus Innovation Lab could be for you. So when you apply, you will be asked to submit like a small proposal of what you would like to do and what computational resources you need for that. So for example, if you need more GPU power, if you need more CPUs, more RAM, and so on. So that is, then through the application process, we will evaluate internally if we can support your needs, if we can support your project. And then after a short amount of time, you'll hopefully receive a positive feedback from us. So in case you are looking for computational resources, if you're looking for more GPU power or more CPU power, feel free to just apply for the Copernicus Innovation Lab. And that's already it from my side. Thank you very much. I hope that was interesting. And yeah, I'm here now for you to ask your questions. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Annalena, for your presentation. As usual, it's really interesting to learn about the WEkEO tools. And yes, so obviously we have a few questions for you. The first one being, so for the WEkEO Earthkit plugin notebook, can we alter the data we want to use? For example, LST CCA data, load that and use it in the notebook.
Yes, so you can use any kind of data through the WEkEO Earthkit plugin. You can only use the data which is available through WEkEO. So if the LST CCI data, if that is available through WEkEO, if it has a WEkEO dataset ID, you can for sure use that using the WEkEO Earthkit plugin.
Okay, thanks a lot. So we have another question about the Earthkit notebooks. So actually we have two questions, so yeah, I will do them. The notebooks for the tutorials of Earthkit are on read only. Do we need to download the notebooks to use them? And another question asking, so the last one, can I run a Jupyter notebook on my local machine with this data? So yeah, maybe we can do the first one actually.
Yeah,
because...
so about the read-only, yes, that you noticed that correctly, that if you access the notebooks from the public folder, they are read-only within the public folder. So what you can do, I think the most straightforward way is to just copy the notebook from the public folder to your home directory. So maybe if I can quickly share again, then I can...
Go ahead. It will be easier.
Then I can quickly guide you through that. So here, for example, you also see that I have this notebook here in my home directory. So it's not in the public folder, but in my home directory. And once you copy it to your home directory, then you can edit it how you like. So you can then select a different data set, or you can select a different area you want to plot or so. So that's the way to do it.
Okay, thanks a lot. And yeah, so the other question about the Jupyter notebook, I think it's not necessarily on the Earthkit, but on the Jupyter notebooks available on the catalog. Can I run a Jupyter notebook on my local machine with this data?
Yes, that is also possible. So what you will need on your local machine is then some kind of software that runs Jupyter Notebook. So for example, you could download through Anaconda, the Jupyter Notebook server, or you could, for example, run it in Visual Studio Code. That's how I open notebooks, or you could run it in Spider and so on. So that's what you would need for that. And also you have to take a look at the environment you need to open the notebooks. So in the WEkEO workspace, we have the environment preset for you, so you don't need to download any more Python packages. Or not so many new Python packages, but when you run it on your local machine, you will have to deal with the environment yourself, how to set that up and how to install all the packages.
Okay, thanks a lot. So this one a more general question that I can partly answer. Are these datasets for only Europe or are they for Asian country, for example, the Nepal and the Himalayan? So we had this question previously. So for the Asian region, we have data like Copernicus marine data, Copernicus land data, but concerning the Copernicus land data, I think it's mainly vegetation data like forest cover, and so I'm not sure about the ice products. I think what Mathieu told before is that for now it's mainly in Europe. Maybe at one point it would be developed for the Asian region, but yeah, for now we don't have a date. So if it's specifically on the Himalayan, I think the data available won't be of interest for you. But yeah, if you want to check marine data or anything else, you will. We have global data, so yeah, not all of the data, but yeah.
Yeah, for example, the one data set I used in the demonstration of the notebook, like the ERA 5 air temperature on 2-meter level, this is also a global product. So you can, yeah, you will have data for the whole globe.
Yeah, you will see on the second day we will have the demonstration of the WEkEO viewer, so you will be able to see a map, global scale with the different products that WEkEO has available on the website. So you will also be able to see the different filters that we have. So according to the Copernicus services, the geographical region, the type of product. So if you want to have a look now, you can, but otherwise you can also wait today to have the full demonstration of the viewer. And so the last question, it was a question we had for the presentation, so I don't know if you could provide an answer to that also, Annalena. The question was why should I use WEkEO if Google Earth Engine provides capabilities to access all Copernicus data? So I didn't use Google Earth Engine. So I was thinking of, well, the Copernicus data are on WEkEO, which is a Copernicus service, but I don't know if you used yourself Google Earth Engine and could provide a better answer to that.
Yeah, I've been using Google Earth Engine a lot, especially like during my studies back then for university projects dealing with large amounts of satellite data, like the whole archive of Sentinel-2 data, for example. And it's true that Google Earth Engine, it offers many of the Copernicus data sets, especially the satellite ones like Sentinel-1, Sentinel-2, I think, meanwhile also Sentinel-3. And it's very convenient for large scale data analysis. So when you really need access to the whole archive for long time series and so on. So it's a great tool. However, the disadvantage with Google Earth Engine is that it does not provide the original data. So it does not provide the most up-to-date data. So because, for example, I think, Mercator, as well as at EUMETSAT or as ESA, we constantly improve our data quality so that we will always have new versions of the data. And often this is not represented in Google Earth Engine because they download the data once and then they make it available for a very long time. So I think if you really want to use the best quality data, like the most recent updates of the data, then like WEkEO is the way to go, because WEkEO provides the direct link to the original data provider. So you will, the data you find in WEkEO is as up to date as it is through the original providers. I think that's the main difference, and that's the main advantage of WEkEO. Yeah, that's all I can say to that.
Well, thanks a lot, because I wasn't sure about that part, so now I'm sure. Oh, well, thanks for the answer. I think it's clearer for everyone now why to use WEkEO, at least for that part on the data quality. Yeah, so I think that was the last question concerning your presentation and WEkEO. Thanks again, Annalena, for joining